To Susan Campbell live outside Rhode Island Lottery headquarters in Cranston.
Susan, by law, the winner has to come here to lottery headquarters to claim the win. So far, no takers. Newport's famed Bellevue Avenue, known for its majestic mansions and as a playground for the ultra-rich. Now new money could move in because Bellevue Avenue is also home to a lucky Stop and Shop supermarket.
It is the lucky place to be.
On Saturday, the Stop and Shop sold a winning Powerball ticket worth $336.4 million.
To be at my store is great. I mean, we're excited, and hopefully we see who it is, but we're excited that it was sold here.
What do you think that kind of influx of money in this area could mean?
Well, I'm sure it could help. Yeah, fine. No, it's really positive. It's a good sign.
But so far, nobody has come forward with the winning ticket.
Hopefully, the person will be someone that we all know and love.
This is the first jackpot win since Powerball raised its price to $2 a ticket. Stop and Shop doesn't get any money for selling that winning ticket. Instead, the store gets an 8% commission on every Powerball ticket sold. So the winner for Stop and Shop is worth just about 25 cents. Live with the mobile newsroom, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.
The Powerball winner certainly stands to benefit the most from this jackpot win, but he or she is not the only one.
The state is getting a big check of its own, and it's no lousy chunk of change, I'll tell you. Eyewitness News reporter Nicole Estefan continues our in-depth coverage now from the newsroom.
More than 595,000 Powerball combinations were purchased in Rhode Island with just one winner. We may not all be taking home the jackpot, but we've learned that everyone in Rhode Island will benefit at least a bit. The number is surreal, $336 million. With just one winning ticket sold in Newport, the winner will take home a pile of cash.
If they choose to take the cash payout, which is the trend today, it'll be $210 million.
Now, because of changes to the game, it's the largest cash payout in Powerball history and the biggest jackpot ever in the state of Rhode Island. The lottery headquarters in Cranston is buzzing with excitement.
This is a fun time for us at the lottery and exciting for the state, and of course we're going to generate some extra tax dollars as a result of this.
When the winner does come forward, the state will also win big. We're told a check for more than $12 million will be written out to the state treasurer.
It's terrific. It's great. It's great for the state. It's great for the individual that won, and we're all benefiting of it.
Lottery officials offering some advice to anyone who finds themselves a bit richer than the night before. Sign
the back of the ticket. You know, this is extremely important. They put their name on it. It shows ownership of that ticket. Seek some advice, financial advice and legal advice, and be cautious. And we would appreciate if they would call us as soon as possible, and we will give them the proper advice.
The winner now has 1 year to come forward. If they don't, that jackpot money will go back to the states that participate in the Powerball game. In the newsroom, Nicole Estefan, Eyewitness News.
And just in case, here's another look at the winning numbers.
1, 10, 37, 52, 57. The Powerball, 11. Police have arrested a suspect in Saturday's stabbing in Pawtucket. Jose Andino is accused of attacking 3 people on Lonsdale Avenue. He was brought before a bail commissioner and charged with 3 counts of felony assault Sunday. Today, Andino was ordered held at the ACI on $20,000 bail. The victim's injuries are not considered life-threatening.
Rhode Island Hospital has been ordered to pay $5.3 million for ordering unnecessary hospital stays billed to federal health care programs. The FBI, the Rhode Island U.S. Attorney's Office, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services determined that between January 2004 and December 2009, medically unnecessary overnight hospital admissions were ordered for about 260 patients who underwent a gamma knife treatment.
Now we are less than 1 hour away from the first State of the City address from Mayor Angel Taveras. He finished his first year in office and is struggling to balance a $22 million budget deficit that could force the city into bankruptcy. Eyewitness News reporter Steve Nielsen joins us now live with a preview outside City Hall.
Susan, the mayor's first State of the City address will come at a pivotal moment for Providence. Mayor Taveras has been vocal recently in warning that the capital city is headed towards bankruptcy, and the administration's acknowledged the plan to get out isn't yet clear. Providence, Rhode Island's capital city, will be bankrupt in June if things don't change soon, according to Mayor Angel Taveras.
It must stop now.
At a recent news conference, the mayor laid out how dire the situation is.
This is real, and I want to make sure people understand where we are.
So where is the city exactly? $22.5 million in the red. The mayor's administration blames that on a laundry list of problems. First, what they call bloated pensions for retirees. The president of the city's fire union said it may be time to negotiate concessions.
I'm saying it may be better to discuss a cut rather than have one forced on you.
Also, the mayor wants Providence's large tax-exempt institutions like Brown University to contribute more than $7 million to the budget. Other financial problems loom too. The mayor plans to use his State of the City speech to lay out a path forward and call for shared sacrifice from everyone involved. The administration says that borrowing isn't an option unless a plan is laid out, and that's something we'll hear more about tonight. Reporting live in Providence with the Mobile Newsroom, I'm Steve Nielsen, Eyewitness News.
You can watch Mayor Taveras' first State of the City address tonight at 7 p.m. streaming live on our website, WPRI.com.
Fallout tonight over a controversial letter from a Providence politician asking about a campaign contribution from a constituent. It's a story first reported by a news partner of the Providence Journal. Now, this patch of sidewalk was repaired last year following a request from a taxpayer whose husband is confined to a wheelchair. Democratic City Council Sam Zurier wrote a letter to them in January claiming his efforts prompted the work. In the same letter, he asked why the taxpayer did not contribute to his political fundraiser. The head of the GOP tells us he was knocked out of his chair by the tactic.
This was just so far outside of the realm of what normal political fundraising is that I really was shocked.
Councilman Zurier wrote a letter of apology to his constituents, but would not comment on camera about the controversy.
From the Blackstone Valley Mobile Newsroom, Eyewitness News is in Central Falls. The state-appointed receiver consolidated the financial and administrative departments today. Robert Flanders signed the order today, adding that it's imperative that the city reduce costs by eliminating redundant government services. Last week, 71 teachers were notified of possible layoffs.
Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca with your first forecast.
Well, one of the coldest mornings of the winter season this morning. Temperatures down in the teens, but a nice warm-up this afternoon. Skies are clear, live pinpoint. Are looking for rain, snow close by, or even on the horizon, but well, certainly not finding it. The air is just too dry. Take a look at the temps this morning. As cold as 12 in Taunton, 17 Providence, and Smithfield at 14. Throw in some sunshine, mix it in with a southwest breeze, and then the net result, big warm-up this afternoon. Temperatures in many areas topping out in the lower 40s. We've slipped down to the upper 30s right now. Woonsocket 38, West Gloucester 34. Cranston coming in clear skies and a temperature at 40. Nice night in Providence. We are cool and dry right now on a light west-southwest breeze at 8. Heading out this evening, weather looks fine on generally clear skies. Temperatures eventually dropping to the mid and upper 20s during the overnight hours. So dry for now, but a storm potential for later in the work week. I'll let you know what it will bring. All the details. The full forecast is only 8 minutes away.
More local coverage on Eyewitness News at 6. Back in court, James Whitey Bulger's lawyers are asking a judge for a lot more time to prepare for trial.
Moving out, a national organization announces it's leaving Rhode Island 1 week after the state questions its handling of a $500,000 grant. Eyewitness News on WPRI 12 is coverage you can count on.
Eyewitness News on WPRI 12 continues.
Warwick police are asking for the public's help tracking down a shoplifting suspect. Investigators say John Unwin stole cans of baby formula from the Stop and Shop on Quaker Lane. He left in a blue 2005 Kia sedan registered to a Woonsocket resident. Police say Unwin may be involved in numerous incidents at this location and other Stop and Shops.
Lawyers for James Whitey Bulger have told a judge they need at least another year to go through a, quote, tsunami's worth of evidence provided by prosecutors, including more than 500,000 documents and nearly 1,000 tapes. Bulger's lawyers said a suggestion by prosecutors that a trial date should be set soon is so unreasonable that it's frivolous. Bulger is accused of participating in 19 murders. The 82-year-old was captured in California in June after 16 years on the run.
The Institute for International Sport is leaving Rhode Island. The board of directors says it's fielding several offers and will announce where it's relocating in May. Last week we told you that the state was questioning how the institute spent a $575,000 grant. The money was supposed to go toward the construction of a building at URI, but the facility is still empty 5 years later. An institute spokesperson says the decision to leave is unrelated to questions regarding that grant.
Coming up next. Remembering Whitney Houston. Tonight, a local man who's credited with helping kickstart the Grammy winner's career.
And Milder Air will try to make a comeback, but for how long? Your 7-day Futurecast is next.
Tonight, we continue remembering Whitney Houston. The 48-year-old music legend was found dead in her hotel bathtub Saturday. And today, the coroner's office said it will be weeks before they would determine what caused her death.
The music world paid tribute to her legacy at last night's Grammy Awards, and we've learned that a local man played a key role in her career long before she was a star. EYEwitness News reporter Stephen Schuler is live in the newsroom now with all the details.
Well, many people consider Clive Davis as the mentor who launched Whitney Houston's career, but we've learned one local man actually might deserve most of that credit.
She's being remembered as one of the greatest voices of our time. The music world is mourning the sudden loss of Whitney Houston, including her first manager, Fall River's Danny Gittleman. We've learned Houston spent many nights at Gittleman's former home in the highlands of Fall River.
Glad it was in my neighborhood. I just wish she had bought the house and we had more history and maybe had known her or at least met her. That would have been a wonderful thing as well.
The music executive coached Houston for nearly 5 years at the start of her career. He then introduced her to Clive Davis at a nightclub in 1983. Gittleman continued to manage the business side of Houston's career for nearly 10 years. Gittleman shared this picture with the Herald News showing Houston with his daughter Randy after singing at her 1985 Boston wedding. He said Houston would often go for rides in Fall River with Randy as a teenager and even asked if she could buy the Gittleman's house if she ever made it big one day.
She's a legend and she's fascinating to, I loved her. She had my heart and many others, I'm sure.
Gittleman tells me he's too upset to go on camera right now. Houston's body is being flown back to New Jersey, where a funeral will be held later this week. In the newsroom, I'm Stephen Schuler, EYEwitness News.
The state Supreme Court has upheld a 2008 assault conviction. John Lumba struck Susan Rushello in the shoulder and slashed her husband Joseph's arm with a utility knife. It happened in the parking lot of the Little Rhodey Beagle Club in Warwick. The couple and Lumba had been engaged in an ongoing feud, culminated when Lumba found the Rushellos trying to remove the license plates from a relative's car. Lumba was sentenced to 90 days at the ACI.
Newport's police department will review its response to a report of a missing woman who was later found dead to see if anything might have been handled better. 68-year-old Brenda Batts was reported missing by her family Wednesday evening. Her body was found near the railroad tracks Thursday afternoon. State police issued a silver alert for Batts. The Newport police chief says he was close to issuing an alert through the city's emergency notification system when Batts' body was found.
Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca with your live Pinpoint Doppler 12 Futurecast.
Well, the trend this winter season, anytime we get an intrusion of very cold air like we did on Sunday and early this morning, it tends to be short-lived, maybe a day or two before it starts to warm up. And that's pretty much the trend for the upcoming week ahead. Temperatures should be running above average as we take a look at live Pinpoint Doppler 12 radar. Skies are clear and the air is very dry, so I won't spend too much time on this. We're not finding any precipitation, though we do have some in the 7-day outlook. We'll show you that in just a second. After topping out in the lower 40s, most areas now have settled back into the 30s. The western Coventry getting a head start at 33, as well as West Gloucester. So it should set up to be a chilly night, just not quite as cold as last night when some areas were down to 10, 11 degrees above zero. Skies are clear in Providence right now. The temperature coming in at 36 on a west-southwest breeze at 8. Low and dry humidity now at 40%. Other locations with temperatures now in the upper 30s to still 40 in Westerly. New Bedford's at 36. and Taunton coming in at 39 degrees. Satellite photo shows the clear weather over New England. Clouds off to our west should be coming in for later tomorrow. And the real cold air that we had on Sunday and early this morning has retreated up into far northern New England. Caribou only 2 above, while it's 36 here in Providence. Getting real close, taking into the future cast, starting off at 8 o'clock this evening. Just follow the clock right up in here. Generally clear skies right on through the overnight hours. Can we get the clock to move? There we go. And you can see how things are nice and quiet overnight. Now tomorrow morning early on, this is 8 o'clock, we'll see a little bit of sunshine, but watch the trend late morning into the afternoon. Clouds are on the increase. Not much in the way of widespread precipitation. We're thinking late in the day probably some sprinkles developing, and further to the north out towards Worcester and the Mass Pike there may even be a couple of flurries tomorrow evening. But as far as anything widespread or heavy or stormy, we don't see that for later tomorrow. For this evening, just clear, dry, and seasonably chilly. Midnight, the temperature at 30, and then overnight tonight, a few extra clouds. We'll call it partly cloudy. Temperatures will drop to the mid and upper 20s during the overnight. A little bit of sunshine tomorrow morning, but the trend will be for increasing clouds. 29 to 33, kids heading out to school between 7 and 8:30, and then during the afternoon, mainly cloudy skies. Temperatures around 43, 44. Later in the afternoon and towards the evening hours, can't rule out some spots of sprinkles every now and then. On a southwest breeze at 5 to 15, temperatures somewhere between roughly 40 and 45 for the afternoon high. The normal high temperatures around 39, 40, so we're running 3 or 4 degrees above average. Cool, but certainly not bitter cold. Mid to upper 40s in southeastern Mass with extra clouds and the chance of some late day sprinkles. 7-day outlook, what you notice here, we don't have any bitter cold or any threats of significant snow. Mostly cloudy, milder on Wednesday up to 50. Next chance of a storm would be in the form of rain. That's late Thursday into Friday morning, and it will be rain. Look at the temperatures, upper 40s to near 50 on Friday. Dries out for the weekend, cool Saturday and Sunday with daytime highs in the lower 40s. So it's not a bad week ahead, nothing significant other than some steady rain perhaps later in the work week.
Okay, thanks Tony. More coverage you can count on coming up later on tonight. New and Eyewitness News at 10. We're staying on top of the winning Powerball tickets sold right here in Rhode Island. Tonight, we'll look into what the winner should do legally to protect their prize.
Then at 11 on Eyewitness News on WPRI 12, we expose a critical concern affecting doctors and nurses and possibly your care. What you need to know about alarm fatigue and how you can protect yourself. Join us tonight for Eyewitness News at 11.
Now, Eyewitness Sports with Eric Murphy.
The first step was getting David Ortiz to come back to Boston. He agreed to do that in early December. The second step, avoid going to arbitration and getting into a petty fight for a couple $1 million. The sides bypassed the court hearing by splitting the difference. Ortiz, who was set to go to arbitration later tonight, instead came to an agreement on a one-year $14.575 million deal. The Sox originally wanted to give him a slight raise, but Poppy was asking for $16 million. In the end, he still ends up with the highest one-year salary ever for a designated hitter. Now, the Patriots, thought by many as a team that needs to upgrade the receiving corps, could have an old option this offseason. Randy Moss has declared that he plans to play in the NFL again. Highly unlikely the Pats would have any interest, but Moss, who turns 35 today, went on Ustream this morning, saying, among other things, quote, "Your boy is going to come back here and play some football. I had some things I had to adjust in my life," end quote. Moss retired last August after wearing out his welcome with 3 franchises in one season, including the Patriots. Before last year, Tom Brady said he'd welcome Moss back to New England. Moss ranks in the top 10 in career touchdowns, yards, and receptions. To Twitter and some news that caught the eye of Friar Hoops fans concerning one of next year's top recruits. This tweet from Hoop Dreams magazine yesterday. It says, here at South Kent versus Notre Dame game, South Kent will be without Ricardo Lito, Isaac Freeman, Zedric Sandler because of a violation of team rules. No further information available. Lito recently scored 21 points in Providence as part of the National Prep Invitational. I'll be sure to check out our Cardi's Hometown Sports Hero tonight on Fox Providence. Former Bayview basketball star Brittany Wilson is this week's honoree. The former Gatorade Player of the Year is in her first year at LaSalle University, leading the Explorers in points and assists, while second in rebounds. Wilson back in action after sitting out a transfer year. She moved over from Northeastern. The Pawtucket native hoping to lead LaSalle back to an A-10 tourney for the second straight season.
The coach here, you know, he's a very good coach, and he's willing to help me to get to that next level of something I've been wanting to do my whole life since I was little. So I felt it was the best decision to come here with him.
She's a tremendous leader and a worker, and we're just excited to have her. She could score the ball, dish the ball, trying to get her a little better defensively, but she's just been a joy to coach.
Again, you can catch that story tonight on Fox Providence 1045. And I'm still trying to figure out how J.P. Smullins can get to Philadelphia and back in one day. I mean, the guy's amazing. He's everywhere.
Wow.
All right, above average temperatures for this week. 40s to near 50 during the day, 20s and 30s at night. Extra clouds and a couple of sprinkles tomorrow afternoon. But overall,
Look at that, February.
Yeah, incredible.
Amazing. Thanks for watching tonight. We'll be right back here at 10 and 11.
Have a good night.